Good afternoon. San Jose joining. Sorry for the delay.
Perfect. Can you hear us okay?
We can hear you, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hi, folks in San Jose, can you confirm who's in the room, please?
David Keon?
Shiloh Ballard.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I'm going to call the meeting to order for both the implementation board and the governing board. Would we do roll call?
Yeah, you can do it anywhere. Start.
Okay, Councilmember Vega. Carmen. Ho.
Present.
Candelas. Campos. Ballard.
Here.
Keon.
Here.
Beal.
Here, Bill.
Bill. Apologies. Marks.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Abekoga. Liebers.
Here.
Young. Okay, we have quorum.
Thank you. We're going to start off right away with, so we have a quorum for both Okay, so skip over the governing board events, is that, or actions, right? Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you. Okay, we're going to item number 3 on your agenda. It's approve the minutes from the May 15th, 2025 regular meeting of the Implementation Board. Have everyone had a chance to read them, and do I have a motion?
So moved.
We have a, and Jim Bell second. Okay,
So,
yes.
I think you skipped over the reports, which is really before we get to the substance of the agenda, and I do see Mr. Lerner in the, audience, so, he typically would like to say a few words.
Of course, I don't have that page.
It's on the back of the very first page.
I only got one.
Oh.
I was gonna say, oh, I missed that. Okay, so, thank you, Michelle. Very efficient to use 2 pages. Okay, so report from chairs. That one, that's what you're talking about? Okay. All right, do we have any reports from the governing board? No, right? Do we have any reports from the information board? Oh, okay. Do we have public advisory commission? Yes, I see a hand.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Reed Lerner. I'm the chair of the Public Advisory Committee of the Habitat Agency. We last met on Thursday, August 7th, here in the chambers. We had 2 items that we had on our agenda. First one was an update on the habitat plan, which is also on your agenda for today at this meeting. And this other item was a report on how the agency deals with invasive plants and wildlife species. And I found that to be a very interesting presentation. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, thank you.
Do I have any other reports? Seeing none. Thank you for your help.
So then I would just point out that items 3 through 6 are on the consent calendar, and you can do all of those in one motion.
Okay. Okay, items 3 through 6 are on consent, and we can do them with one motion. Is anyone interested in pulling any of these items or having comments on any of these items? Seeing none? Anyone on Zoom? No? Okay, then I need a motion to approve the consent calendar. Jim Bell moved, second?
Second.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So now we go to regular business.
So call for the vote.
Oh, it has to be a verbal roll call. Okay. Okay, please call the roll.
Okay. Councilmember Ho,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Keon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
and Levers.
Yes,
Okay, it's approved.
thank you. Motion passes. Okay, regular business. Santa Clara Valley Habitat Plan Amendment Administrative Draft Review. Hello
Thank you
there.
very much, Chair. Happy to see you all here today. We got a PowerPoint presentation that was loaded there.
Sure.
Should just. There it is. Thank you. Okay, we're sharing. Going to. There, does that look all right?
Yeah. We can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. So the request for you today is to provide feedback on the release of our administrative draft amended habitat plan. We're going to be back before this board, the implementation board in particular, in January to seek your approval of the full document. So if there are no significant changes today, problems or concerns that are identified, then what you're looking at now will very likely be what you're going to see for approval in January. We've been working on this for about 3 years, presented regular updates or periodic updates to this board and also to our public advisory committee. 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago, September 2023, I shared a plan amendment process report in which I outlined the steps needed to prepare and approve an amendment to the plan. I referenced in that one a memorandum of understanding between the Habitat Agency and all the partners, co-permittees, which requires that if any one partner wants to proceed with the plan amendment, they must all approve that partner proceeding. Since we've been in regular discussions with all of our partners over the past 3 years, it seems pretty clear that there's wide support for us proceeding. Thus far, Valley Water and VTA, Valley Transportation Authority Boards of Directors, as well as the Morgan Hill City Council have all approved us proceeding with the plan amendment. Approval requests will next go to the city councils of San Jose and Gilroy, as well as the County Board of Supervisors in the next 2 to 3 months. Let's get into it here. Okay. Yeah, that might be, it doesn't roll around so much. Thank you. There we go. So this was the first. There we go. Okay, everything's back on track here. So onto the amendment proposal. Since work began on the plan amendment in spring of 2022, back when I was a young man, the list of wishes and needs has evolved. There was I would say, a maturing on the part of the agency in understanding how we are meant to achieve our biological goals and objectives, and how we can use adaptive management that's built into the plan to address those needs. We also walked back some of the initial requests that were perhaps a little controversial or problematic and would have been a challenge and maybe jeopardize the approval of the amendment. So in the end, we have this shorter list. This isn't all of them, but these are all the heavy hitters, basically. And in the end, we settled on this list, and we and our partners believe it will put us in the best position for continued success with the habitat plan and relevancy of the plan in the future. So if any of the species we have shown here, these are the 7 we're proposing to bring onto the arc, if you will, but if any of these species do become listed under either the state or the Federal Endangered Species Act, and they're not covered by the plan, then separate consultation would be required for projects with impacts to their habitat. And this is already showing up for Crotch's bumblebee, where CDFW is requiring pre-construction surveys and may require avoidance or mitigation for impacts to their habitat, which occurs just about everywhere. I mean, think about where you see bees. That's what's happening. So to avoid reverting back to a time when individual survey requirements and separate mitigation for each species was required, we strongly support the inclusion of the species on this list. One thing I should point out, although we developed a conservation strategy for each of these new species, and that's in Chapter 5, you'll see in the report. It includes land management actions, enhancement and restoration for these species, but we anticipate no additional land acquisition requirements since these species will all benefit from the habitat protection we have already built into the reserve system. When the plan was adopted in 2012, the northwest portion of the county, this is the area that's kind of shown in that yellow, that was not included for coverage because the cities up there didn't want to become co-permittees to the plan. The northeast, the area that's in blue, was thought to remain largely undeveloped with little or no impacts. But with the efficiency of the habitat plan working in their favor, our partners now want their projects covered in the expanded plan area to the northwest. Specifically, VTA, Valley Water, and the county roads and airports and county parks want public project streamlining in that area to the northwest. So we've opened it up for coverage for select projects. As explained in the staff report, the project coverage in the Northwest is limited to co-permitting activities and or participating special entities. There is no mandatory coverage for private development or on land owned by one of the non-participating cities. Okay, the plan relies on impact assumptions, which are based on presumed build-out of general plans in the county and master plans. The figures that we have in the plan now represent what we anticipated to be the maximum amount of take or land conversion for development. For obvious reasons, these figures could never be precise, but in a few areas, the cap is problematic either because it's too low or it's way too high. A couple of areas that are noted here could be fixed easily by setting the limit at a broader level of the natural community as opposed to the very specific land cover types. But Burrowing Owl is a special case. And did I have that there? Yep. We have used about 162 of the 198 acres of take to occupied habitat to date. Were it not for the success we've recently had with our owl reintroduction program, the wildlife agencies wouldn't even be considering additional take of 100 acres. But that's what has been proposed and has been accepted so far. This will allow continued development in San Jose while providing a future revenue stream for continuation of the owl program. The plan assumes 17,000 acres of land will be converted within the 50-year permit term. As of last year's annual report, there have been just over 2,000 acres converted. That's about 25% of the way through. What matters most is the minimum requirements for the aquatic resources, where we have requirements for restoration regardless of whether the impacts occur or not. We have seen, for one example, we've seen less than 3 acres of impacts to willow riparian habitat, yet our impact cap is 180 acres. That's a figure we're never going to reach. Yet we are required to restore 50 acres, even if no more willow riparian impacts occur in the next 36 years. So we have reduced our take request for a few of these resources and proposed a corresponding reduction in the restoration commitment. The cost savings of the plan is critical and will be discussed in just a few minutes. So the plan already considers certain land management actions, particularly those that reduce catastrophic wildfire threat, remove invasive species, or otherwise improve conditions for our covered species to be consistent with the conservation strategy. Some of our partners wanted the plan to be very clear that it covers anything that is also included in the California vegetation treatment or vegetation management program. So we've added it by reference here. As explained in the staff report, Valley Water Stream Maintenance Program was not included in the plan, but is now being requested. The plan already covers stream maintenance activities by our other partners, just not Valley Water. We have assessed the program, the stream maintenance program, and concluded that its impacts are mostly temporary and they fit well within our take assumptions. And that's the reason that we didn't reduce stream impacts, because we're bringing in the stream maintenance program there. So the plan amendment, I think I've mentioned before a few times, is funded by two U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Section 6 grants, planning assistance grants that are administered through CDFW. After we've done a cost analysis accounting for the conservation strategy for our new species, it's anticipated that we would see an increase in cost to the plan of about $25,000 per year. Conversely, by reducing the obligatory requirement for restoration when impacts may not occur, the plan cost would decrease by up to $444,000 per year. So that would be about a $420,000 savings annually if the plan amendment is approved. There are no other significant adjustments to cost, but there might be some minor fluctuations. So I bolded step 2 because that's where we are here today. After this meeting today, we will take any recommendations or suggestions you all have to our public advisory committee with what we think will be the final public draft of the amended habitat plan. That would be on November 4th of this year. And at that meeting, we would request that the public advisory committee makes a formal recommendation to our implementation board, either approval or denial, to take to them in January. And that would be the next time we bring this report back to you. There's the schedule, it shows up there. The final step would be If your board approves the final plan in January, then we would package that up as an application to be submitted to the wildlife agencies. The wildlife agencies will consider that. And then within, we think, a few months, possibly up to a year or so, they might get back to us with renewed permits or reissuance of our take permits, our programmatic take permits. Then we come back to the board for final approval at that point. The reason we've been taking so long to get through this, though, is that we've been working with the wildlife agencies all along. So we're fairly certain that there's nothing in here that's a poison pill that's going to kill this approval. And we think the wildlife agencies are very likely to approve it, mostly in the state that it is now. So with that, I'll take any questions, comments, or praise that you might have.
Any questions? Yes, go ahead.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Thank you. Yeah.
2 to 3 years is a long time to be working on something.
It feels a little bit like the birth of a child, I say from direct experience, but
Can we go back to the map, please?
absolutely.
Of the boundary?
The
I know I've
expanded-
asked this before in the committee meetings, but is it possible to have, this is great map, right? Is it possible to have just very simple before and after
Oh, sure.
that just shows one color of the boundary? Or is it not that simple?
It's not that simple, unfortunately. Yeah, there's the area that's in blue, there's not any coverage there, but it may be an area where we can implement conservation. So we might be able to acquire land up there. The area in yellow is not covered for everybody, just for certain people. So it kind of has to be separate that way too. I mean, I'm happy to show you actually, if you want to think about what the before and after is, Lonnie,
Mhm.
everything in the red is the before. And so it's just a kind of a truncated version of what you see there. What you see there without the wings on the side, that's what the existing plan boundary looks like.
So should we add the word existing? It's in the legend, it says habitat plan, study area and permit area.
Yeah, our plan is that, our proposal is that this becomes the new exhibit in the
Okay.
plan. So we wouldn't want to confuse people with other language. We did change the nomenclature. So what we refer to now as the study area is that area that's in the red boundary, the core part of the plan, which is really the valley floor and then the foothills there. The new scope of all of the coverage area is I think it's called the permit area. And so the whole thing's kind of the permit area now. We have struggled with how to get this
I know,
across clearly.
I know.
This was our best attempt. But I certainly welcome any suggestions to make it more clear. And if you want to, propose something or give it more thought, we have an info line on our website specifically for the plan amendment. And please, we would appreciate any help we can in making it more clear.
Thank you. And then remind me, the yellow area, there's a list of those selected projects somewhere?
There's not a list. They're open for public projects that are implemented by our co-committees. So any Valley Water project, any county roads and airports project, county parks project, all those are automatically covered. We would also allow for other entities to use that area for coverage as a participating special entity. And we've also left the door open a little bit for potential conservation in that area too, in case San Jose Water Company or someone else wants to work with us on conservation.
Okay, so that was what I thought. So for VTA, being selfish here, for VTA, if we have any project in that yellow area automatically covered, we don't have to do anything special.
That's correct.
It says,
That's correct.
thank you. No further
Yes.
questions, Chair.
Thank you. I have a question. I'll be right with you. In the blue area.
Yep.
You said BTA originally didn't want to be included.
The blue area, nobody wanted to see coverage out there
Okay,
because I don't think anybody anticipated anything was going to get built out there.
okay,
It may work for our reserve system and it might not. It's pretty remote. And
Okay.
for most of our reserves, we like to have them closer together for management efficiencies, but there might be some opportunities for land out there that we want to pick up.
is that like the foothills of East San Jose?
It's the Mount Hamilton area.
Yeah, it's up. above.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so the reason why we included that is because there's a tricolored blackbird colony in that area.
Okay,
It's also prime habitat for some of the new species we're listing, particularly badger and mountain lion. And the land is cheaper out there, generally speaking. So we're hoping there's some economies of scale and being available to purchase land. We're doing a lot in Grant Park, so it's not too far from Grant Park. But we see it as a good opportunity to focus on some of the new species as well as some synergies with cheaper land.
So we are going to include then.
Not as covered activities.
Not as covered.
So no one would be paying fees for land in there for any activities they're implementing. It would just be a potential source of reserve system land that we can purchase.
It's conservation only. It's
Yeah.
really similar to that green boundary on there, just confuse you even more.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Which allows us to do work outside the plan area for burrowing owls. So we were doing work in Fremont, believe it or not. We did talk to Newark about doing work out there, but nothing came of that. So the green is specifically for owls. The blue would be specifically just for conservation, all the species that might potentially occur out there. And it just allows us to have more flexibility in building the reserve system.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I have another question. Yes.
Is that blue area, does that include Mount Hamilton?
Think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a University of California owns a lot of land up there.
Correct.
That might be, I don't know whether public lands are owned in that blue area. Probably are some.
Some, the
Yeah,
university, like you said, county has some lands in that area. But generally, SFPUC has some lands in that area.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then on the other side of the county boundary is the Del Puerto Canyon.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, it's in the other county to the other side.
Oh, okay.
There's a proposed reservoir that's controversial there.
Oh, okay,
They're talking about a reservoir.
okay. I did not know.
Okay, so
about that.
that's just across the boundary. And
Oh,
of course, the Valley Water has decided to forego the Pacheco Reservoir
All right.
as a costly, it's just overpriced, it's too expensive. So we're not completing that, but that area, I don't know if there's been any plans, conservation plans, now that the reservoir is not gonna be built there.
we did try to buy Rancho El Toro back in 16,
Oh, okay,
but the individual who currently owns it we moved quicker than we could and bought it.
I
So
think it's owned by the San Benito County Water District or who?
the area around the dam, yes. but
Yeah.
The land
County,
surrounding.
it's in Santa Clara County, but it's owned by
Yeah.
San Benito County Water. It's the other county that owns the reservoir.
But the Rancho El Toro, so the 12,000 acre ranch around the reservoir, we did try to acquire it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but unsuccessfully, unfortunately. But yeah, I think if the dam is ever removed, there might be some opportunities for us to restore the stream corridor.
Yeah,
But that's a big thing, as you know.
yeah, see, the Valley Water has bought land around there, so there are properties we own, but now that we're foregoing that project, I think that's something that's worthy of discussion. What do we do with our land? We have to,
Yeah, we would
we
be,
don't have a plan yet, so,
we'd be open to talking to you about that.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Any further question? Another question? Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm dissecting this. The red, the habitat plan study area improvement area, Milpitas. Does it connect? You just can't see the line between the green and the orange? And
Yeah,
green and yellow?
right. So that little, I don't know if I have a cursor or like that arrow, but the little, so where the yellow stops, if you're coming around from the west and heading to the east, and it kind of dives down and sort of stops there. It does go up around that little peninsula of green.
So you just can't see the.
Just can't see it, 'cause it's under the green there,
layers.
right? And yeah, that's one way of thinking about it. Like Ed said, that green and blue, one end of the color spectrum, that's conservation, red and yellow, other end of the spectrum, that's covered projects.
Okay.
Cool colors and warmer colors.
Yeah, right.
And the line, the red line, that comes down by Pacheco. What's the reason for that? Kind of weird line coming down.
I've asked that question before and the question was answered. And then I promptly forgot what the answer was. I think it has to do with there's, you see these little pockets up there too, that little
Yeah.
pocket. That's Henry Coe, which isn't covered by the plans of the state park. We just pulled it out. But that remaining little line there might be, is it Los Osos?
It's the road that leads to Henry Coe.
It's the road. Okay.
Right, so that the entryway to get into the park, they open that. Very seldom do they open that way to get into the park. So that's part of Henry Coe. I don't know why it shows up as a red line, but
Like an access easement that can't
yes,
be.
right. So it's not covered that, so the red line technically is not part of the plan. I don't know why it looks like that. I've asked the same question as Jerry has. And I understand why you're asking it.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
We have a speaker in San Jose.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Hi, this is Shiloh. Quick question for you, and I'm probably not understanding things correctly. On the burrowing owl stuff, I thought I remembered we had a presentation maybe 2 board meetings ago, and I got the impression that we're actually not doing that well at, increasing the health of our burrowing owl populations by numbers. And so can you just explain that part? Because am I misremembering that? And so therefore we're like, okay, we can go forward and, be impinging on their land more or something.
Right, yeah, it's possible you're misremembering it. For the past couple of years, we've had pretty good success with breeding, captive rearing, and reintroduction. Got several sites where we're at little owls and little huts, and they're establishing their home sites out there. The numbers have gone up quite considerably in the past couple of years. We're up 200 birds now, something.
Pushing 300.
Pushing 300 birds where we had a
with
low.
chicks, newborns and adults. Yep.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, and we had a low of about 38 at one point. So you can see that the trend, I like it because it looks like a smile. We had a pretty good number of owls in the very beginning of the plan implementation, and then it dropped down to the low, and now it's coming back up again on the other side here. The wildlife agencies would like to see us demonstrate this success a little bit more, so that 100 acres of take isn't all just free and clear. As noted in the staff report, we'll get 20 acres now. After we meet more success criteria and demonstrate that this is, maybe they're going to persist out there, we'll get another 40 acres, show continued success, then later on we get 40 more acres to take.
We're doing a lot to try to establish them. We're feeding them. We're captively breeding and rearing them. So the wildlife agencies want to see that, as Jerry said, that they'll stay on the site. We won't be feeding them, and they'll persist as a wild population. So right now they're getting a lot of assistance from us. And that's probably what you're thinking of, Shiloh, is that we're putting a lot of time and energy into trying to recover the population. And we're still in a zone where, we don't know. As Jerry said, the last 3 years have been great, but it's still a work in progress.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying. If there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and if we need a motion to say, yes, we like the staff recommendation to do the amendment, then I would make a motion to do that.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Is it roll call vote?
Board Member Ho,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Keon,
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Levers.
Yes.
Okay.
That motion passes. Thank you. And thank you for your presentation.
Thank you all very much. We'll be seeing you again in January, hopefully. with
If
the
not
final
before.
request here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 8 is the Richmond Ranch property house parcel sale. Okay, I think we talked about this at the last meeting. This is the one over off of
San Felipe.
San Felipe,
Mhm.
correct? Yes. So who will be giving the report on that? Yeah.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So just really briefly, it's just adoption of the resolution approving it, as you stated. So we're going through the Surplus Lands Act process right now. So we've contacted a lot of municipalities and affordable home construction companies and developers. And so once we get through that process and if there isn't an entity that wishes to buy it from us, we then will do an MLS listing of it. And it'll be a property available for any private citizen to purchase. And I have authority up to $1 million to sign a purchase and sale agreement, either for selling or buying. So this would authorize the executive officer to do all, sign all the paperwork and go through the process. Usually title companies require that you have given me that authority to do that. So they usually request something like a resolution. So this we will present to them and that I have the legal authority to proceed through the selling of the property process. So the close of escrow kind of stuff.
Understood. Thank you. Is this the property that last meeting, the real estate agent that was here? A lady real estate agent, I don't remember her name.
It might have been Robin Cohn for us in the county who did present on it. Was
okay.
it that? Thank you. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so right now the property's listed.
Just going through the surplus lands process,
Okay,
which is about a 3-month process to see if there's any municipality or county or private affordable home developer that may want to buy it from
Okay.
us, or we would enter negotiations with them.
okay,
So we can't do anything until we go through that state process.
okay. And is it only the 4.5 acres?
Yes.
Okay, what about the surrounding property?
We, us in the county own all the surrounding properties.
Okay,
So it's
so-
like 3,700 acres. County owns around 1,400 and we own the balance. Yeah.
Okay, and it's literally this house.
Literally this house, I think a couple barns and outbuildings. Yep.
Okay,
It's the old Richmond family ranch house.
okay,
So if you're driving down San Felipe, it's on going north, it's on the right.
okay. All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about this? It seems like he has the authority to move forward on this. Any questions? from
Yeah.
Zoom?
I do have a question. Ed, I know Parks was working with your agency on potentially a trail easement. Is this the same parcel, the one that would front the road?
Yes, exactly, Julie.
Yeah, is that something, I know our last direction was that really the connecting trail on either side is an easement to the city of San Jose, and that was our recommendation. Is that something that Habitat Agency is pursuing?
Yes, we've been in contact with city real estate staff and city park staff on that. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, someone want to make a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Board Member Ho,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Keon,
Yes.
Bell,
Yes.
Marks.
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
and Labors.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Moving on to item number 9, transfer of ownership of Silver Creek and Kirby Slope Preserves by Taylor Morrison to the Santa Clara Valley Habitat Agency.
Thank you. And I have a short presentation to give you. This is a unique acquisition by us. So it's an existing mitigation bank. And so Taylor Morrison, who's not in the business of managing mitigation property, approached us, as well as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service approached us. to take on the responsibility of managing this mitigation bank essentially. So it's still going through an acquisition process because they would transfer title over to us. But since it's land, most of the land is already mitigation for the Silver Creek development. We were in negotiations with Taylor Morrison to provide an endowment for the 506 acres of land or 509 acres of land that's already encumbered with an easement over it for mitigation for their development. So this took a good year or so to negotiate with Taylor Morrison. Taylor Morrison had to negotiate with Fish and Wildlife Service. And we came up with this figure based on doing a property analysis. It's called a PAR, which kind of looks at what an endowment should be for managing land in perpetuity. So that's where the numbers. So the getting around over 5.2 million, over 4.2 million of it will be for the endowment. In addition, getting $800,000 for deferred maintenance and weed control that Taylor Morrison and their consultants had not been doing a lot of that. So the presentation is just going over some of this, showing you some pictures and why we're doing it. So this is where the two properties are located. The Silver Creek site is next to the housing development that is there so it's part of Eastern San Jose. It's not far from the Richmond house that we were talking about that we're selling. And the Kirby Slope is part of that Coyote Ridge area, just to the east of Morgan Hill. Most of the land up there is protected already. This is protected with a conservation easement. And the Kirby Slope area is 100% serpentine lands. So they were mitigating for bay checkers, spot butterfly and plants and stuff. So the original project and biological opinion was 25 years ago. So they have been managing these sites since 2008. So this is where I get into some of the things I was talking to you about. So we're acquiring 676 acres at no cost to the Habitat Agency. Funding to the Habitat Agency was from Taylor Morrison, as I was describing, $5,243,000 and change, of which $4,243,000 is for the endowment, $800,000 for the deferred maintenance. We're also getting 167 acres that are unencumbered, so there's no easement over them. And it's valued at around 2.6 million, and that was estimated on what land costs in that of this size in that Silver Creek area. So the benefits for us and for the Fish and Wildlife Services is that we'll bring more of a esprit de corps, more of a commitment to managing this. Taylor Morrison did fine, but we'll bring more expertise, resources, and commitment to managing this. And that's the benefit that Fish and Wildlife sees. Benefit to us is getting that 167 acres for nothing. So what's out there is serpentine bunchgrass, annual grassland, mixed riparian woodland, willow riparian, and 2 ponds. One of the ponds has California tiger salamander in it. We know that there's mountain lion, I forgot to mention in the slide, bay checker spot butterflies out there, Thule elk, and several of our rare plants. This is a very busy spreadsheet. It's in the report. It kind of breaks down the ownership and what the new land tenure situation will be and how the acres are divided up. And I'll be happy to go over that if you have any questions.
Could you go over it, please?
Yes.
Because I do have questions and it'd just be
Gotcha.
easier.
So there's a company called Apex Ventures that owns the golf course that's now closed. Part of their land was set aside as mitigation for Mount Hamilton thistle. And I think that was it. So so they'll continue to be the owners. The Land Trust of Santa Clara Valley will be the easement holder and we will manage it. So that endowment will help us with managing it. The Land Trust doesn't have the capacity or the expertise to do that, so we would be doing that. The next grouping there is for 432 acres. And that's the land that's already encumbered with an easement. Title will be transferred to us. The Land Trust will hold the easement. And we will manage it. The next bunch is the unencumbered acres. That's the bonus for us. And it has half of the property is grassland and half of it is the serpentine. So it's going to have the rare plants. It has a pond on it. It also has the butterfly. So that's hence our interest. So that we can enroll into the reserve system. So that would be acres that'll count towards our 47,000 acres that we have to do.
Right.
The next is the Kirby Slope area. And the first is the encumbered acres that count, that were mitigation for the housing development. And the 15 acres will be acres that we enrolled in the reserve system. We're already managing a lot of land out there with OSA. So this will have the economies of scale of already being out there, already managing it. And it's a pretty low lift managing those acres. Any questions?
Go ahead, Jim.
It said urban, can you maybe articulate more about that? It said urban,
Yeah, the urban suburban is the old,
9.6 acres. in
Yeah,
one and about
that's,
0.8 in the other one.
yeah. So we won't be doing anything with that. That's the old clubhouse and the parking lot of the golf course.
Yeah,
And it just showed up in the GIS.
so it's not our,
No,
no.
no.
Okay, and then the other question would be, is there remedial things that have to be done with the property?
Yes,
Okay.
there's,
How much would that cost?
yeah.
We're gonna develop a plan to deal with that.
So the 506 acres that is encumbered already,
Yeah,
the endowment will help us with doing the studies and the land management that's laid out in the biological opinion and the management agreement that the Taylor, was Lion Homes back in the day, but now it's Taylor Morrison, did negotiated with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service 25 or so years ago. So we will follow the management plan and the endowment. We're going to invest it with Sandhill Global Partners, the same organization that manages the endowment for the Habitat Agency. That will pay for all those things. The land that we're getting, the 167 acres, we'll take on the responsibility of managing that. And that will be handled by the fees we collect on projects. And once the endowment is fully funded and the permit is sunsetted in 39 years, then our endowment will be responsible for all of that. Is
yeah,
it?
so how much remedial cost are there? How's that?
So
Do you
that's,
have any idea? I mean,
so yeah, the endowment laid it all out. It's the management plan was attached, and I can certainly go over that with you.
I just want to know how much, that's all. How much money?
How much money?
What would it cost? Is it like a large problem or?
No, no.
Okay, that's the issue.
Yeah, it covers, so when the fences need to be replaced, it factors that in. You do that every, 30 to
Yeah.
50 years. So part of the 800,000 that we negotiated with them is to help with some things that they neglected. There needs to be some weed management. There needs to be a gate replaced. So we said for us to take this on, you need to help pay for some upfront costs.
Okay,
Could you tell me the name of the golf course? Because I want to just kind of get my bearings.
Yeah, let me I think I mentioned it in the staff report. No, I don't. I just say, no, sorry, I don't have the name of the golf course here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that we have nothing to do with the clubhouse and the pool?
Correct.
Okay, and who takes the liability of that? The real estate company or who?
That Apex Ventures.
Oh, okay.
Apex Ventures.
All right, so
Yeah.
we don't have any liability, even though we have no
Yeah, and we won't be the easement holder either.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
we're only doing the management of the mitigation area.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any trails through there or
No,
none? Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Does
You're-
anyone else have any
You're welcome.
questions? Anyone online? Should have Julie?
Yeah, I do have a question. And Ed, help me try to explain or ask this correctly. The acreage, since it's already mitigation, it's not acres that could be used except for the unencumbered, is that correct?
correct.
Do any of those acres count as impact under the plan since they were already mitigated, or does that take away our impact acres?
No, we're completely free and clear of those. Yes. There might be some opportunities for us to do things for monarch and some other species out there. But that would be a negotiation with the wildlife agencies if somehow we could get credit for that kind of stuff. But because the mitigation was for serpentine species and red-legged frog.
Thank you.
We have a public comment.
Public comment, go ahead.
Doug Muirhead.
Well, I'm not done with the.
Oh, you're not done?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the best part,
I'm so sorry.
no, it's fine. I'll be quick.
No,
So
that's fine too.
this shows you the site, the Silver Creek aerial and the golf course you can see. I forget the roads, chairwoman, to let you know what, if you ever played golf with the golf course there.
So I think it's the Silver Creek Valley Country Club
Thank you.
and it's on Country Club Parkway.
So, okay, yeah, there is a country club up there and that's why I asked,
Yeah.
okay? So Silver Creek, so have they gone belly up? Or I mean, why have they gotten rid of their clubhouse and pool and stuff?
There's other golf courses there too.
Oh, okay,
That are not part of this development.
okay,
This one, I don't know anything about it.
okay,
I do know they may be proposing to the city at some point in time, a housing project on what was the golf course land,
of course,
but we're only responsible for the creek corridor.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was
Sure.
just for clarification. Okay, sorry about that.
And this isn't very helpful, but it shows you the acres of the Kirby Slope area. This shows the land cover, which is primarily serpentine and grassland.
Great,
And it shows the riparian corridors in green there. This is the unencumbered, so the ones that we will enroll in our reserve system, and it's split almost evenly between the two land cover types. This is the Kirby one, and the green is the unencumbered. This shows you a picture of the Silver Creek preserve. It was taken in July. That's why everything is so brown. There's elk out there, so at both properties. And the Habitat Agency will not take title until we have completed all required due diligence. Taylor Morrison is ordering a phase one. They're getting the title report ready. I mentioned the unencumbered acres. The site will be managed for biodiversity and wildlife conservation per the agreement with Fish and Wildlife Service for the encumbered. And the unencumbered is a different story. Action today will be managing it for those things, of course. Action today, authorize the EO to accept the transfer of title and adopt a resolution approving the transfer of Silver Creek and Kirby Slope Preserves to the Habitat Agency. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, now I'll take public comment.
Okay, we have Doug Muirhead.
Good afternoon, board members and staff. My name is Doug Muir. I live in Morgan Hill. In addition to this property, are you currently managing lands for other third parties? Open Space Authority, I know, manages land for other third parties. And while I was trying to fill out my card, I heard you say something about you and OSA were managing something or doing something together. So my question is, what's the decision tree where the Habitat Agency ends up wanting to manage, OSA wanting to manage, or maybe you're in a cooperative venture? Thank you.
Yeah, it varies property by property, like Tilton Ranch. OSA will hold an easement for us, we'll be the landowners. And they'll be responsible for the recreation and we will work with them on managing the property. They'll be a partner with us on that. On Coyote Ridge, Myoamakma, I don't know if I'm saying that quite right. But that property is owned by OSA. We have a conservation easement over it. We jointly work with them on managing it. They focus more on recreation. We focus more on the natural resource stuff. They help out with that also. And this is, Doug, to your question, this is really the first one we're taking on that was a third party. We've had some discussions with Valley Water about potentially taking on some of their lands that they own. But those so far haven't really, gotten much legs, but we've had some discussion. But no other discussion with any other private or public entity on this kind of stuff. This is a unique one, Doug, but there may be more in the future.
Any other questions? Another one? Yes, go ahead.
And we've also had discussions with BTA about,
Right, how could I forget? Thank you.
but it has not taken legs, as you mentioned.
We have Julie Anderson.
Is the property currently grazed? I know the parcels to the west, I see cows on those.
Yes. I don't know who the grazer is on the Kirby one. It's Andretti is the grazer on the Silver Creek one. Justin, I think his name, Justin Andretti.
Yeah, and is there any interest in those western parcels? I know, it seems like it'd be nice to have that large area all under one sort of protection. I don't know if you've looked into if there's any habitat value there. I know the landowners have approached parks if we're interested, but it's fragmented between the road and this preserve, and it seems like it'd make more sense to be all one.
I haven't had any discussions. I know there was a property somewhere near there, I believe, Julie, that you all were interested in, but no, I've not had any discussions. We've had discussions with YCS over the years, but we could never agree on price with them.
Yeah, I think that's been the ongoing issue with those parcels to the west.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, but interested if it was the same grazer, sometimes there's a nexus there. And I know you said the interest in managing for invasive species. If we all know the grazer, we know the plants cross the boundaries. So it'd be good for us to coordinate on that.
I believe the grazer on the Kirby Slope one is the same one that grazes Valley Water land. I'm pretty sure.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it was just interested in the grazing nexus. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there any other questions? Okay, this is actually a two-part, and we're going to first vote on the authorization for the executive.
You can do it all as one.
Can I do it all as one? Okay, well then that makes it even easier. So thank you very much. All right. So, but I will say what they are. So the first one is to authorize the executive officer to accept the transfer of ownership. And the second part is to adopt a resolution approving the transfer of Silver Creek and Kirby Slope Preserves to the Santa Clara Valley Habitat Agency. So if there's no more questions, I'll ask for a motion. Motion. Okay.
Second.
What, did somebody say second online? Jim,
I
you
was
said second.
about to second, but I thought someone else said second.
Okay, all right. All right, so roll call vote, please. Member vote?
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Keon,
Yes.
Val,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes, yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
and Levers.
Yes. I do have a question. Will this come back now for a second vote that that it is a resolution, or are we done with this item?
We're done with the site.
You're done with the item.
Okay, because I can counsel, bring it back again. So, thank you. All right, future implementation board initiative agenda items. Does
This is-
anyone?
This is Shiloh. I think this is the right place to mention this. Can I?
Yes, please.
Okay, a while back, we had discussed coming up with a improved system for doing the executive officer annual review and compensation increase. And out of that, we had determined that we're a couple people who were tenured board members who could help flesh that out and put a process together. We've had minimal communication in between meetings, but I wanted to suggest, I've drafted something. And I wanted to suggest that perhaps at the next board meeting, we could consider that. And in the interim, we'll convene the folks who had said that they would be willing to look at it. So my suggestion is that we put this on the agenda for the next board meeting. And I'm new here, so you all let me know if that's an acceptable request.
I would think so. So yes, we'll agendize that for the next meeting. Thank you.
And I think it was just one last thing on that. Lonnie and Jim had both said that they would help out with that. So just a heads up, I did go ahead and send it to both of you earlier today. So you should have that in your inbox. And I also sent it to our executive officer for him to review. So wheels are in motion.
All right, was it just the three of you, or were there, I thought there was a few more on that. No? What, Jim?
No, I'm fine, I'll read it.
Okay, he said he'll read it.
Thanks, Shiloh.
Okay, thank you. Great idea let's get that checked off our list. So thank you very much for bringing that up. All righty. So now, do we have a quorum?
Can I ask one more thing, maybe for future items on the agenda? Is there any way that we can be a little flexible with the time of the start time? Can we move it up an hour or be a little bit flexible with it, or we have to have it at 3?
So you move it up, you mean move it to 4 o'clock?
Yes, if it's a possibility.
I think so. I mean, it's outside of we were also wondering if we could move the meetings to Mondays in the future, because it's very hard. There's a lot of like San Jose today, there was a conflict. They had some city council special thing that they all had to show up at. And I know typically there's not Monday meetings for your boards. So
Gilroy has city
right,
council.
get that then.
So when
Yeah.
the Habitat Agency was first formed, there were several different approaches to scheduling the meetings. There's nothing that says that can't be revisited. So that's something that can be discussed with the governing board and the implementation board. And we can see if we can come up with different time, different dates, whatever. But it does need to ultimately be adopted by a resolution because you have an existing resolution.
Okay,
All right.
all right. So are you suggesting that this come back to our next meeting then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, we'll add that to the
Okay.
agenda also.
All right, thank you. So you would prefer 4 PM? That's your
Yes.
suggestion, but you understand that other people will be involved?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Is it, if I may, is it possible that, in the meantime, we kind of work it out by contacting, emailing, just find out a couple options and then
Send us like a survey that we can do,
something,
and then we can.
Yeah, but we could do
Yeah.
survey, because we have to be careful of the Brown Act of
Right.
communicating to one another.
Well, scheduling matters don't typically run afoul of the Brown Act.
Well, we're really careful. I mean,
We're just talking about scheduling, but I think that the staff could put some sort of survey together.
Exactly.
that
Yes.
everybody could just respond to individually and then we can compile the results.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Thank you.
then we'll look forward to next month. At this point, it'll still be 3 o'clock next meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but we'll work to, it's fine by the agency to switch times. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
excellent.
And if, in the interim, if it's scheduled at 3 o'clock, but we know that it's not gonna work at 3 o'clock, it can officially be at 3 o'clock and then it can be delayed, kind of like it was a little bit delayed today.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And if I may, there's also the opportunity if the next meeting, if we're having issues with quorum, it can also be a special meeting, so it could still be Thursday and it could start at 4. If it's a different date, time or place, it's a special meeting. We would still notice it as a regular, we'd still apply 72 hours. And so for the next meeting, I know we've had quorum issues a few times now, so that's an opportunity to just for us to be aware of. And Angel and I would be happy to take on polling the board members and seeing if we can find some sort of best time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to the results of that. Okay, so now we do have a quorum for the other group or?
No, I don't think so.
So we won't be
Yeah.
having that meeting. Okay. I do have these papers. When our next meeting is, I wanted to read that off. I don't know where it is.
So the next implementation board meeting is November 20th, and then the next joint meeting is January 15th.
Okay, November 20th. Okay, and then January what?
15.
Thank you very much. Save me going through these papers. All right, if there's no further items, then I will adjourn the meeting. And thank you for all participating.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you all.
I'm sorry, then it was November 20th.
November 20th
Uh-huh.
and January 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.